I'm always incredibly surprised at the resilience of the industry. Of course, we are seeing some results that are indicating how tough it is.
Yeah.
But I think those retailers that have over the last number of years been able to capture good data, quality data, they've got organizational structure that means that they can really understand and interpret what they need to do based on data. I think those type of companies are still doing pretty well as long as they've got good products that they're selling.
Yeah.
Multi-channel. You still see those companies doing very well. But I would say that, we're seeing the haves and the have-nots. So you've got consumers that are not being impacted by the inflation and they're continuing to spend as they were. And then we've got lots of households that are being really impacted by the inflationary and disposable income declining, and we're seeing changes in their behaviour. They're pivoting to different types of retailers, discounters, value retailers, in order to prop up their diminishing disposable income.
Yeah, I think that's true. And you get this squeezed middle thing. So some of the more value-based retailers are doing really, really well. If you look in the grocery sector, Aldi and Lidl, continue to make great strides.
Yeah.
And then in some other sectors, some of the more luxury type retailers are doing really well when their customers are less impacted by the cost of living crisis. I think it's those in the middle who have a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
So, but I agree about the use of data. People who have been collecting and using data intelligently, understanding customers really, really well, and serving up a proposition to those customers that really kind of hit the mark.
Yeah.
And we're seeing them being successful. So, really advocates the intelligent use of data, I think.
It does. And then if you look at the communications now for retailers, if they are now having a good personalised conversation and relationship with their consumers that's adapting to what's happening. So it's not about enticing consumers to buy more of stuff. It's about how can those retailers help those consumers through navigating through this inflationary and kind of recession period. So looking at good offers around promotions of fixed prices, of guaranteeing sort of products remaining at the same price to help households through these things.
And you can certainly see the rise of retail media from a consumer perspective, I think, as well. Noticed this a while ago on Amazon in particular, which where I tend to shop for quite a lot of products. It seems particularly for the convenience factor. When you search for a product, more and more of the kind of premium listings, the listings at the top of the page are sponsored ads.
Yeah.
And I think it's about striking the balance between sponsored ads, so selling an ad placement to the highest bidder, but also making sure it's really, really relevant to that customer's search. And I think as soon as you stop doing that and you just sell ads based on, who's going to pay the most, if those ads are then irrelevant to the customer, they're not going to convert at the same kind of rate, and they're going to they're going to churn. They're going to go off to another retailer's site. But I think on sites like Amazon, eBay would be another good example. The number of premium sponsored listings is certainly on the rise. So, you can see that in your day-to-day shopping as a consumer.
The expectations of a consumer is much greater than it was, say 3 years ago, the pandemic, and the fact that we had to all shop digitally rather than physically. I think that's really kind of educated consumers.
And then ironically, even though we're seeing such a big adoption of shopping online and e-commerce, we are actually seeing a kind of a renaissance in a lot of store-based retail, and a renaissance in the way that retailers are really using those stores and using some of the assets they've got in those stores. So digital displays, for example, that is another form of retail media. And if you can advertise products in a really relevant way, perhaps not directly to the individual, we're not quite in Minority Report territory yet, but certainly to the segment, the kind of audience of consumers who are most likely to be shopping in that store on a particular day at a particular time of day, and make it really relevant to them. That's another form of retail media and another way to encourage customers to discover the products that are really going to surprise and delight them, and ultimately they're going to buy those products, and that's going to lead to greater revenue and profit for the retailer.
It's also gives you an opportunity to reduce your costs as well. Having worked in Sainsbury's for a number of years, to know the turnaround of all of the paper advertising that you had to put up hanging from the ceilings and at the end of the plinths and all of that had to be done.
Yeah.
Moving that into that kind of digital space, that's digital price changes as well as digital advertising. The whole digital media advertising part is a cost saving as well as an opportunity to grow your sales.